6, we are live on the scene of breaking news in South LA. 2 officers hospitalized following an officer-involved shooting. What happened and where is that suspect this morning? Coming up.
Plus, a chaotic street takeover sends 2 people to the hospital in Orange County this morning. The search is on for that driver, still on the run.
And it's the final weekend before Election Day. We are live with the latest on the campaign trail and early voting right here in SoCal.
Good Saturday morning. A chance of some light showers this afternoon, and then gusty winds will pick up tomorrow. We'll talk about all that coming up.
Good Saturday morning, everyone, and welcome to the KTLA Weekend Morning News at 6 a.m. I'm Megan Tallis.
And I'm Lauren Lister. We thank you so much for joining us. Before we get to today's news, you were covering the rally yesterday, right in the center of it all in Dodger Stadium. How would you sum it up in a word?
In a word, was electrifying. We'll talk about that in a little bit. The weather was
so
perfect.
Fun. Yeah, it was perfect.
It was gorgeous yesterday. How's it going to be today, Kate?
Today it'll be cool. Temperature's a little bit cooler, and again, there's a chance that we could see a little bit of shower activity as we head into the afternoon.
Casey, thank you. We are going to begin with breaking news this morning. A suspect now in custody after an attempted robbery last night that left 2 LAPD officers hurt.
Both officers taken to the hospital but expected to be okay. KTLA's Carlos Herrera live for us in South LA this morning with the very latest on this investigation. Carlos, good morning to you.
Good morning, ladies. And there's a massive crime scene here this morning, several hours after the shooting unfolded in this neighborhood. Take a look behind me here. The yellow tape, several law enforcement officers in the area as well. The suspect is now in custody, according to investigators, but police say they still have a lot of searching to do for evidence in this area. This morning, as we come back out here live, investigators say they still have a lot of body-worn video to look at and examine as well, and the investigation could take several days. We'll send it back to you.
Carlos, thank you for that. And firefighters in Universal City mopping up hot spots after a brush fire breaks out overnight next to the 101 freeway. The fire first reported burning in brush around 12:30 near Universal Studios Boulevard and WC Fields Drive. Firefighters able to put out the flames and several other small fires which sprung up in that area, but not before they impacted traffic along the 101. The LA Fire Department says no structures were damaged and no injuries were reported. And daylight saving time ends tonight, giving us an extra hour of sleep.
We need it, right?
Yes.
It officially falls back 1 hour at 2 o'clock in the morning. Health experts say you should use the extra hour, not to stay up a little later, but to get a little more sleep. And they say you should also update any clocks around your home that need to be adjusted manually, if you still have any of those. As for your smartphone and other devices, no need to worry about those. They will adjust to the time change automatically. That still never stops me from panicking over, did my phone change? Did it not change? What if something happened and it didn't?
Do you want me to call you in the morning?
Yeah, actually, that would be great.
My body will automatically wake up just because I'm on such a clock, so I'll call you.
Yeah, okay, great.
Okay. Problem solved. The week. Ladies, back to you.
Casey, thank you. Still ahead, a muddy mess left behind after a historic deadly flood sweeps through Spain. We are taking a look at the aftermath coming up.
Plus, a would-be thief rethinks his plan to rob a store after an employee scares him away. How she did it may surprise you.
Casey, thank you. 2 people recovering this morning after being run over at a street takeover in Anaheim. The chaotic sideshow took place early Friday morning at the intersection of Orangewood Avenue and State College Boulevard. Video of the takeover shows hundreds of bystanders gathered. At one point, a driver performing burnout lost control and struck several bystanders, trapping 2 people underneath the vehicle. The driver and spectators fled the scene before police and first responders could arrive.
Social media is one of the main driving forces of how these events are publicized. And so that's where a lot of the participants receive their information. The people come from all over the Southland to participate in these. And within a moment's notice, you know, you'll have several hundred people in an intersection participating in this very unsafe and reckless behavior.
Those injured are in stable condition and have only been identified as a man from Lancaster and a man from Orange. And early voting continues across the nation ahead of Tuesday's Election Day.
Yeah, many voters are taking advantage of the weekend to hit the polls early. KTLA's Omar Lewis live in Norwalk with more on the early vote turnout and where anybody watching can go vote. Hi, Omar.
Good morning. That's right. Yeah, 3 days until Election Day, and the county registrar's office here is working around the clock to make sure every vote is processed and counted. You can see the drop box behind us ready to go, open until 8 o'clock on Election Day. We can tell you that here in LA County, additional voting centers also open today. Here is where every vote cast by LA County voters is checked, validated, and tabulated. Process centers will be opening here and working around the clock to make sure those signatures are all validated and the voting process is secure across our region. We want to see your voting pictures, of course, dropping off that ballot or with your I voted stickers. You can send that to us and we will show it right here this morning on the KTLA Morning News. That email for you, weekend@ktla.com. That's the latest here live from the LA County Registrar's Office in the City of Industry. I'm Omar Lewis. We'll send it back to you in the studio.
All right, Omar, thank you. We look forward to seeing our viewers voting as well. All right, you're looking live from Boyle Heights, where artist Robert Vargas is painting his latest project, this huge mural of legendary LA Dodgers pitcher Fernando Valenzuela. Vargas says Valenzuela joining the Dodgers was a huge step forward for Mexican-American representation in baseball. Valenzuela sadly passing away on October 22nd before the piece was completed. Now, Vargas is working nearly 48 hours straight to put the finishing touches on the piece before its unveiling, its official unveiling, because of course we know this is going on tomorrow at noon. So we'll be following up with this. Of course, Fernando Valenzuela's birthday would have been Friday, and City Hall was lit up in honor of the Dodgers and specifically him last night.
Yes, it was so special. Of all the things that could have happened, how the World Series could have ended, that we went in 5 games, we won it, and then the parade happened on his
birthday. Yeah, and if you've been living under a rock this week, you may not know your LA Dodgers are World Series champions. I can't imagine who wouldn't know that by now, been celebrating it for days.
Yeah, you watched the coverage.
It was incredible.
Out there with the coverage yesterday. And to see the number of folks who either took work off or kids who missed school, I'd say well worth it. It felt like the entire city of Los Angeles was physically there on the streets. Yesterday, a sea of Dodger blue, if you haven't seen it, lining the streets of downtown LA to celebrate. Take a listen. People climbing the light poles, holding up signs saying the funniest things. There are boys in blue, half of them with no shirt on. It was a lot to take in, an incredible sight. Hundreds of thousands of fans gathering for the first Dodgers victory parade since 1988. For a lot of people, this was their first World Series parade in their lifetime. LA had previously won a World Series title back in 2020, but because of COVID, there were restrictions that prevented a proper parade celebration. So again, the first since '88. Players, coaches, and their families rode atop double-decker buses. People cheered, confetti rained down on the team that made this October 1. I will say we will remember for the rest of our lives.
I mean, look at that crowd. How deep that crowd goes.
Yeah, I mean, we were both talking about what Spillman said on the air yesterday, and I think it offered a lot of perspective, and he's been doing this for more than 30 years. He said, I covered every Lakers parade back in the 90s and the 2000s. This was by far the largest crowd, he said, I have ever seen. Yeah. And he had ever reported in his career as a broadcaster, and that just spoke volumes to so many people. We've been watching Eric for a long time. Now, during yesterday's event, we not only celebrated a World Series title, but a birthday. And we just talked about this. As previously mentioned, Dodgers legend Fernando Valenzuela passed away last week. He would have turned 64 years old. And I was there with fans at Chavez Ravine. That's where the celebration happened after the parade, as we sang happy birthday to the late legend together. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday.
Love it.
The Mexican-born left-handers, a lot of talking yesterday, will forever be a part of Dodgers history. Meanwhile, fans at Dodger Stadium also enjoyed a rare chance to hear from the team's newest legend, Shohei Ohtani. This was a moment.
Who wants to hear from Shohei Ohtani?
This is so special for me, movie. I'm so honored to be here and to be part of this team. Congratulations, Los Angeles. Thank you, fans.
That was awesome.
He took all of us by surprise.
Yeah.
Go, Shohei. Ohtani.
And the dog. Oh, the dog. His dog is the best.
It's dog Decoy. Ohtani, of course, was accompanied by a fan favorite. As we just said, Decoy. We'd like to once again thank the boys in blue for making this past month, this October, so magical. Here at KTLA, we also want to thank you, Dodger fans, for allowing us to celebrate alongside all of you, whether it be at a donut shop, right? Or at the stadium, or at a sports bar. It's been so much fun. And as Freddie Freeman said during yesterday's celebration, we cannot wait to run it back in 2025. In the meanwhile, enjoy this one, they say, right? Very, very cool.
It's amazing. It's incredible. There were so many highlights from yesterday.
We'll have more coming up the next couple
we
of hours.
have a few hours to get them in.
And the odds makers seem to agree about the Dodgers running it back. They are currently the favorites to win the World Series next year. We could do this again. A back-to-back and then a three-peat. That would be great. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. And just behind them are the Yankees. Could we see a rematch next year? That is the big question. We will just have to wait and see. So much to look forward to.
So much.
All right, we will continue to celebrate the Dodgers World Series win with the special edition of Sports Final tonight at 11:30. Our Crystal Rich and David Pingalore will look back on the Dodgers championship season. They were both there at the stadium yesterday.
Yeah, and covering the World Series. Crystal Rich there in New York. And you know, one thing that was really cool, Fernando Valenzuela was Rookie of the Year in 1981. And that year, the Dodgers beat the Yankees in the World Series.
What a storybook. Full circle.
Very much so.
This is an unbelievable crowd.
Of course, we're not going to stop talking about it. It is time for Talk to Us. The boys in blue brought home the World Series title, and so many people were out there on the streets of LA yesterday in the best outfits I have ever seen. I mean, so creative, so full of just like everything you could think of, adore Dodgers logo. So we want to see your Dodger pride.
Yeah, send photos with your name, city, and some details about what we are looking at so we can talk about it on TV. Email your submissions to weekends@ktla.com.